Thanks for watching today's video and coming back to my channel. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around. I post videos every Sunday and Thursday and sometimes in between. So if you want to watch everything related to makeup, then I hope you'll consider joining my little family. I wanted to quickly shout out my shirt. It's so cute. It's a tie-dye like jumper and it has Mickey Mouse on it. It was like $25 from Forever 21. So if anyone's interested, you should go check it out because it is so cute. There's going to be a lot going on in this video. I just want to preface it before we get started. Every week I do my Shop My Stash, and then I wanted to do a get ready with me using all the products, and then when I couldn't do that, I just decided to do a weekly speed reviews of all the stuff that I used that week, and I feel like that video didn't get a lot of traction, so I'm not really sure if anyone's interested in that. I don't know if you guys would rather see just a get ready with me, or you want to see the reviews, or you don't want to see either. I don't know. Please just let me know in the comments. But today I wanted to do a get ready with me using my week 2 Shop My Stash, because last week I used the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation, and I did do a video with this last weekend when I got it before I started this week's basket, but it was like such a disaster because the weather was terrible. The weather's been terrible this whole week, and so when I went to go edit it, I just realized that it was just not worth even putting it up. So that's why I wanted to do this follow-up video and show you a get ready with me using everything that was in last week's basket, and also give you a final review on this foundation since I've been wearing it for a week now. So if you're interested in seeing kind of like 3 videos combined in one, then let's just get started. So starting with this hyaluronic acid primer from Colourpop, I actually didn't have this when it first launched. I bought it when I picked up the foundation at Ulta last week. So now I'm gonna go in with the putty primer from e.l.f. I love this, by the way. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it because I've recommended it a lot to you guys and I feel like a lot of you already use it. But back to the Pretty Fresh one, it's nice. It feels like a moisturizer basically. If you have really dry skin and you want to add a little bit of extra hydration right before you put makeup on, it'd be nice. And it has a really nice like coconut vanilla scent to it. My only issue is that usually I do my makeup like right after I do my skincare, and so if I already just put so much skincare on my face, I don't really feel the need to go in with another moisturizing primer on top of it. It just feels kind of unnecessary to me. But if you want to pick up the foundation and then you're like, oh, there's a matching primer, I think it's nice. And especially if you have dry skin, you can't go wrong with adding more moisture to your skin anyway. So that's just kind of my opinion on that. I don't think it's anything, you know, extraordinary, but I wouldn't steer you away from buying it if you have the means to. All right, so let's move into kind of like the star on this whole video. Basically, it's the new Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation. I have the shade Medium 100W. This is a little deep for me. I don't think any other shade would work better than this one, but I feel like I am just slightly lighter than this foundation. So this past week I was mixing it in with like a mixing pigment from LA Girl, but today I'm not gonna do that, just so you guys can see like what this shade looks like and how it performs and stuff. And I just wanted to show you guys a quick comparison with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. Over here we have the Tinted Moisturizer. So this one definitely feels a little bit thicker, not thick like a full coverage kind of thick, it's just thick, like it literally feels like a cream, like a hydrating cream for dry skin. And this is a pretty good like spot on shade match for me. And then over here we have the foundation. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is a little bit like runnier, and the consistency is definitely way thinner. Like this is way thinner than the Tinted Moisturizer. This foundation definitely oxidizes. So right now it looks a little bit lighter, and that's what I thought when I put the shade on. I was like, oh, I picked out the perfect shade, but throughout the day it does get a little bit darker, and I have seen that in other people's reviews also. So just be wary of that. I don't think it darkens like 2 shades down from your shade. I just feel like it definitely doesn't look like this after like 20 minutes of wearing it. In terms of their claims, the Tinted Moisturizer is definitely very light coverage. I feel like you can't even really build it up to medium. I'd say it's just light coverage, but I love it. It's probably one of the products that I've worn most in my entire makeup collection. I feel like when I got it last fall, I literally wore it like every single day to class, and I would just wear it throughout the entire day, and it wore beautifully because when it fades off, it doesn't look like weird. It doesn't leave like splotches because it actually performs like a moisturizer, and so I love that. Let me start applying it so like I don't take up too much time in this video. So to apply my foundation, I'll be using the Pretty Fresh sponge, which is also from the line. This is a nice sponge. I don't think it's necessary. Like I really like my e.l.f. one and my Real Techniques one, so if you don't want to order this from the Colourpop website, I don't think you're really like missing out on anything. I usually just take about half a pump. That's like pretty much enough to cover my entire face. Okay, so in terms of my like final review impressions on this Colourpop foundation, it's really nice. It performs really beautifully. It leaves such a nice hydrating finish to your skin. I'd say if you use a sponge like I am right now, and you only use a sponge, you can get light to light medium coverage. But some days this week when I was wearing it for my internship, I would go in just with a brush first, and I would only use the brush and then maybe go over it with the sponge after, just to like smooth things out. And then I feel like you can get medium coverage. Like you can definitely get medium coverage. But what I have found is that, especially for hydrating products, I don't like to put a lot on my face. I like it to look a lot more natural and a lot more skin-like. So I turn my little side mirror off so you can see for a second what the foundation looks like. So again, this is just literally half a pump on my whole face. I do feel like it is a little dark. Like it wasn't this dark when I first put it on, and as it oxidizes, you can tell that it is a little bit deeper than my neck. And so overall, I love this foundation. I really truly love it. I feel like it's gonna be like a staple product for me, just like the Tinted moisturizer was. And by the way, if you're wondering, this is $16. I got mine at Ulta and I used the $3.50 off coupon, so you can get it for $12.50 instead, which I obviously would recommend anyone to do. Okay, so next we have concealer, Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I purchased this back when I also got the Tinted moisturizer, and I feel like my thoughts have kind of changed on it after I used it like consecutively this week, so let's just get into that. But I do have the shade Medium 100W, so I have to lighten it up with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, so I mixed these two this entire week. So basically, I feel like when I was using this concealer with the Tinted moisturizer, I really liked it like last semester, because I felt like since the Tinted moisturizer has like literally like barely coverage, it's light coverage, I liked how the concealer applied along with it, because this is a pretty like medium to full coverage, and I feel like it balanced out the Tinted moisturizer really well. But now, since I've been using it with my new foundation, I kind of changed my opinion on that. I feel like when I first apply it, it'll look good for like, I'd say like 4 or 5 hours, and then after that it just wears off. Like it just completely wears off. So what ends up happening is that I just have powder left on my skin because the concealer just isn't there anymore, and it looks terrible. And so like I said, I'm not gonna get rid of it right away. I'm gonna keep trying it in different ways, maybe not pair it with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and see how that goes. But so far, like by using it this last week, I really wasn't enjoying it. Okay, so our base is kind of done. I didn't have any drugstore cream products to use this week, so it was all powdered. For powder this week, I did use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 10 Fair Light. I got like a lighter shade than obviously my skin tone because I like to highlight underneath my eyes. I'm just gonna set underneath my eyes because I want you guys to see, my brush just fell. I definitely want you guys to see like how the foundation wears on my cheeks and stuff. I don't want to just take away the really pretty finish just by setting it with powder. So I've set just underneath my eyes, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's such a smoothing powder, and this is only like $5.99 or something. It is really, really good. It's one of the powders that I found. It definitely, you know, mattifies your skin, but it doesn't crack or like look just so terrible at the end of the day on my dry skin. So I've really been enjoying this. So let's talk about everything else that I use basically this week. So next we have the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. You get like a really light bronzer over here all the way to like a really deep one over here. And this is a like amazing bronzer palette. The formula itself is so awesome. I honestly thought I'd be like these two bronzer shades, but no, they're so pigmented. So I'm basically this one. So if you are in a situation like I am right now where you have a hydrating foundation that's a little bit, you know, tacky and it hasn't fully set down because you didn't powder it down, when you're applying the rest of your cheek products, just kind of stipple them in. Don't try to like buff them in like this, because you're gonna be dragging your foundation and it's gonna become like streaky, or it's gonna pick up. All right, so we are definitely bronzed. We are not, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm looking very bronzed, I know that. In terms of like my final opinion on this Essence palette, I think it's gorgeous. The powders perform really nicely. For blush, I use the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Orange Truffle 4-color blush palette. This is so good. I can't even like explain to you how gorgeous this is. You get 4 blushes, and then there's 3 like matte shades, and then this one over here has a little bit of a shimmer in it. The only thing is that these powders are so powdery. Even though I know there's still so much kickback in it, I still get like a little bit surprised every time I put my brush in it, because a lot of powder comes up. And so just be careful, that's it. So I'm gonna take a combination of these 2 shades right here. I love this. I'm so happy that I got to use it this week, and I'm really happy with this shade selection. They have another one in Vanilla Cream Truffle, and I already have it in my Ulta cart. I'm gonna get it when I place an Ulta order because I love this formula so much. It just takes a little bit of time to practice and figure out like how hard you want to go with this palette, but in general, it's beautiful and I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm about to lose my mind like talking to you guys about this, but this is the Pixi by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in Subtle Sunrise. Oh my gosh, I think I literally have just found like my favorite highlight of all time. So you get like a champagne-y gold shade and then also a pink shade right here. This champagne, I cannot explain to you how gorgeous this shade is. Like, no joke, it is literally the most pretty highlighter I've ever used in my life. So what I started doing is that I would first apply this pink one and then top it off with the champagne, and just gorgeous. Your cheeks are gonna look so dewy and luminous and just so pretty. So first I'm gonna apply this pink one on my cheek, and you guys can see it's very like reflective. I'm gonna take a little bit of this champagne. It's super blinding, and I just like to top it off. Do you guys see that? Do you see how insane that is? I love this highlighter. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. I just feel like it just melts into the skin. Okay, so we are highlighted. I love this duo. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, obviously. I love this thing, and I was kind of worried. I keep dropping my brushes. I was kind of worried that I would like only use the champagne side and then the pink one would get neglected, but I realized that combining them is like literally my perfect highlighter, so I'm so happy I bought this. Usually when I get to this point in my makeup routine, I like to spray my face with a setting spray just to really lock in all the makeup. And so this past week, I was trying to finish my Milani Make It Last setting spray. I'm literally like down here, as you guys can tell. I was hoping I'd finish it this week, and I literally use so much of it every single day, but it's kind of never ending. So hopefully, you know, this next week I'll be able to finish it in like a couple of days, but I'm just gonna use this to lock down this like first layer of makeup that we have. So I'm gonna come up a little close so you guys can see like what my face is looking like right now. So as you guys know, I only powdered like right here underneath my eye, so the rest of my skin is just the foundation and the other products that we put on top. And I seriously love how this foundation looks. Even up here, like I feel like it just blurs over my pores. I didn't put powder here today. This is just the foundation, and I feel like it just smooths over like the larger pores I have around my nose. I'm a super big fan of this foundation. There's two things that I wanted to mention to you guys before we keep going. This foundation, if I don't powder like around my smile lines, I do get really bad smile lines by like the 6 to 8 hour mark, and I do notice that I do get creases there, so just a warning. And then also just in general, this foundation doesn't have like the longest wear time. I'd say like usually I work for 8 hours a day, maybe 9 hours, and I feel like during my work day it looks pretty solid, but then sometimes I'll wear my foundation till like 10 p.m. at night, and by then it's like not there anymore basically. So let's just move on to eyes. And oh my gosh, I love this palette so much. I'm just so happy because this week everything just looked so good. I feel like every single day I had such a good makeup day. Like I looked forward to putting my makeup on every day using this basket because I knew I was gonna get such a solid makeup look every single day, and I love that. And so for eyeshadow, I use the BH Cosmetics Hanging in Hawaii palette. I love this palette, like I love it so much. I did a giveaway with it when I reached 100 subscribers, and I was so excited to give this to one of you guys because it is truly such a good everyday palette. This is what it looks like. I'd first start off with Shaka and put that all over my crease. Just use it as a really blown out transition shade. Next, I'm gonna go in with Aloha over here. It's basically a brown, but it has like an underlying peach tone to it. And it just brings like a subtle color to the look, nothing too crazy. So now we have like a super just blown out transition. I'm gonna start going in with some of the deeper shades. So basically I was just mixing Tiki and Coconut. So this is more of like a cool tone brown, and this is a little bit warmer. And I was just kind of putting that in like the outer half of my eye. Okay, so I got my other eye caught up to speed. And basically what I did now is that the brush that I just used to put the browns on my eyes, I would just pinch it like this. And I wouldn't take any additional products because obviously there is like color payoff on here still. And I would just run it in my lower lash line just to add a little bit of something down there without making it like too intense. And you can see that it did deposit some color. So that's basically all I would do in terms of like the matte colors on my eyes. And I just use these two brushes every single day. And now I would just pick a shimmer, but my favorite shimmer in this whole palette has to be this shade right here called Waikiki. It is such a gorgeous gold. I'm about to put this on my eyes, so I'll show you guys. But the mattes in the BH Cosmetics palettes are really blendable and they're beautiful, but the shimmers are really where they stand out. They're so smooth, so pigmented. And now I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade Pineapple right here, and I'm gonna put that kind of like in the center of my lid to bring like a little bit of attention there, and then also in my inner corner. I hope you guys can tell just like the genuine love I have for this palette. I think it is so beautiful and it's so user-friendly. If you're new to eyeshadow and you're looking for just one eyeshadow palette to get the job done, this is so gorgeous. Okay, so I am back. I finished up the rest of my eyes. So if you want to see like what eyeliner and stuff that I use, just check out my Shop My Stash videos because I use the same things all the time. So if you want to see like literally what I use every day, just check that out. But usually when I get to like this step in my makeup routine, I just like to take a little bit of this brightening powder from KKW Beauty and just sweep it underneath my eyes just to add a little bit of brightness, and you know, always want to look awake and fresh. So for lips this week, I used the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit in the shade Send Nude. This is like a really beautiful nude color for, you know, medium skin tones. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. What I realized in the past 2 weeks is that throughout the day, I don't really wear a lot of lip products because I'm usually like drinking coffee, or then I eat lunch, and then I like snack. So I feel like in general, I haven't been getting a lot of use out of my lip products because I just haven't been wearing them that much. But I mean, this was really nice to wear throughout the day when I did feel like putting something on my lips, because it's very just easy. Like, you don't really have to worry about it. It doesn't have to be like precise or anything. I would use the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. And so I bought this last year with the Tinted moisturizer, but I literally like didn't get any use out of it. I don't know why. I always liked it. Like, I would use it randomly, but I just didn't use it consecutively to like make progress on it. But this week I've been loving it. So I would always go in and set my first layer of makeup with the Milani spray, and then I'd use this at the end just to like really refresh my makeup and bring it back to life. That's pretty much it. That was my everyday makeup for this past week. Shop My Stash episode 2. Thank you so much if you've even like made it this far and you've watched this whole video. I hope you guys found this helpful in terms of my final thoughts on the Colourpop Pretty Fresh line. And then also, if you just wanted to see a look that I did basically every day for work, this is kind of just how I got ready for my internship this past week. And I really, really, really enjoyed everything that I had in this week's Shop My Stash. I think that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching. I love all of you, and I hope you guys have a good week. Bye.